This is Master Obi-Wan Kenobi. I regret to report that both our Jedi Order and the Republic have fallen. With the dark shadow of the Empire rising to take their place. This message is a warning and a reminder for any surviving Jedi. Trust in the Force. Do not return to the temple. That time has passed. And our future is uncertain. We will each be challenged. Our trust, our faith, our friendships. But we must persevere. And in time, a new hope will emerge. May the Force be with you, always.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
Feel, don't think.
Fear is my ally.
The Force will be with you.
We are encouraged to love. Be mindful of your thoughts.
I will not betray the Republic.
Hey, Your Worship, I'm only trying to help.
Scruffy-looking nerf herder!
I'm not afraid.
You must unlearn what you have learned.
So, this afternoon, Maze drew my attention to this X account that appeared in March of this year. It looks legit. They've got a blue check mark, verified, and they say they've cultivated sources within Star Wars, within Lucasfilm, to get news out. And I do have a suspicion that they might belong to Jon Favreau. That's just me. Posted this story today. Kathleen Kennedy done. Her contract is not being renewed. Weird that part of the story about Kathleen Kennedy is we can't tell if her contract's up tomorrow or at the end of the month. Okay, but that story came out. This came out. I called up Cameron all excited. He said, caution here. And I'm like, I totally agree. You guys saw my live stream, my 20-minute live stream, because we've been led down this path before. Okay. And we know she's leaving. We just don't know if it's this month or did she negotiate for a couple more months or whatever. But this is the first time in a long time that somebody posted something like this. And again, are they legitimate? They have a small fan base. The people who follow them, they're a small cadre of people. I'm going to look at the followers because I'm following them now. They're not people like Molly Damon. They're not Ryan Cannell. There's no clickbait. Then this is Agnes Chu, and their position is Kennedy herself is picking her replacement, which I don't think Bob Iger would let her do that. Now, Agnes Chu is a woman who has worked for Bob Iger. She's been his assistant. She was also one of the heads of curating for Disney Plus, and apparently she knows how to do things like that, content. She's also very connected to the Chinese government, and I'm not talking about the legitimate government in Taiwan. I'm talking about the genocidal maniacs, who run around screaming they're communists but live like fascists in Beijing. So I don't trust her because of that. And of course, why would Kennedy be allowed to, pick her own replacement? I mean, that's just asinine when you think of it. And this also could be a ruse by Iger himself to make people look this way while he's looking to get Favreau situated in that position. And yes, I know John has a company of his own, so does Kathleen Kennedy. And also, you got to remember that Iger did the same thing to Christine McCarthy, threw her name out there as CEO of the Walt Disney Corporation before he fired her. And yes, he fired her. She didn't leave under health issues. Okay. And so this could be anything. And, I'm going to restate my thing about this Star Wars magazine. I think it could be Disney. Okay. Now, here's the deal. So Cameron and I talked, and I said, reach out to a mutual friend of ours and try to contact Sparrow. While he was contacting Sparrow, Sparrow called him. And what he had to say over the bat phone just adds more intrigue to what's going on. Because on the face of it, we don't know who runs Star Wars magazine, so we can't really be sure if this is real. We haven't heard Kennedy's got her contract renewed. We have not heard that. All right. We've been hearing about it not being renewed. Now, this magazine out of the blue, this brand new thing, poof, shows up. Okay. And Sparrow said that there have been high-level HR secret meetings going on and lots of movement happening, which lends to the idea something big is going on at Lucasfilm. Now, we've been down this road before, right? If you remember the HR list of people who had to go, their contracts, the word was fired, but now I because I talked to a mutual contact with Sparrow, and they basically said that contracts are going to be let to run out, and they weren't going to be renewed. And that includes people like Pablo Hidalgo. Okay, so there you go. But are they talking about other people? Are they talking about Rain Roberts, Candace Campos, anybody who caused trouble? Matt Martin. Really, the useless mouths that did nothing for the company except attack the customers and literally make everything about their personal politics, and that's it. So yeah, there are meetings going on. There's Secret Squirrel, HR. I think legal's involved. It's also probably Kennedy. What can they expect? How do we do this? I would say Disney legal and Disney HR is involved too. Basically, if her contract wasn't renewed, you close up the books and you say goodbye. And you send her off with a golden, OSHA statue or one of, Leslie Headland or some shit like that, or, one of Kyle Ron's nose. So what's going on here? And I guarantee you there are going to be updates this week, all week. I have a feeling I'm going to be talking about the leaks and breaks and scoops every day of the week. Maybe I'll even have to post another video later tonight. But I want you guys to be aware because it feels like the big deal is finally happening. It feels like things are breaking, I think, not just Star Wars fans' ways, but the world's way. All right. Kamala Harris begging for another debate and Trump saying no says a lot, okay? And that's, everything seems to be, okay, now you can sit around and wait for the other shoe to drop, and a lot of people will. And that's fine, okay? Do what you have to, cope the way you have to. Me, I'm all for, let's see what happens. Let's see what goes down. And we will be waiting with popcorn and soda as the news starts churning out. But it's a liquid situation, and the information can change on an instant. So let's talk more.
Goodbye.
Master, I assure you.
Your floppy lightsaber. Keep that, you may.
If you just give me another chance and $180 million, I can make this.
D-I-L-L-I-G-A-M, Dilligan, and it means, do I look like I give a fuck?
So while this intriguing new X account from March is posting things that Kennedy is gone, something else is going on. Guess who got deposed in the Karen McCarthy lawsuit today? Not Kathy. Okay, Kathy is no longer even someone that counts. She's president emeritus of Lucasfilm. No, you guys remember this, right? Right? Well, apparently now the case is going forward, and Leslie Headland was deposed today. Okay, breach of contract. And I think McCarthy has a pretty strong case of them having an agreement and them reneging on it. And that's kind of a shitty thing to do, okay, if you think about it. Headland is probably the story we're all going to hear as the Kennedy stuff gets sorted out. And, for the Kennedy thing, we could just hear a leak come out that she's no longer at Lucasfilm and that they've installed, John Smith or Jan Smith or Kojak Janasek as president of Lucasfilm. Hell, Kojak could do a better job. As long as you gave him traits, he would okay anything John wanted. And actually, I think Jon Favreau would like him. He'd probably try to figure out a name for a character based on Kojak. Dave Filoni, I know, would love him because Dave loves dogs. This is the bigger deal because this, and Cameron basically said on his Patreon that Kennedy's probably already throwing Kennedy under the bus. It was Headland that wrote the email to, I think it was an email, not a phone call, to Karen McCarthy saying, we're letting you go. We're not going to honor the contract. We are moving in a different direction or something like that. I think I've read the email. I'll have to look back and see what I saved from the court filings. But this is a BFD. That happens on the day this Star Wars magazine that looks like a professional magazine looks like a professional thing. Not a fan website puts Kennedy is done at Lucasfilm, then explains why, and then comes up with, I think, a Chinese agent, Agnes Chu, to be her replacement, and she picked her. You know, like, it looks good on paper, but when you look at who they name as Kennedy, and they're saying Kennedy picked this person. Not in the life of, Bob Iger would never let her do that. He would never let her do that. He might install Chu as a backup or a president, kind of there, stopgap, until they could either find a new president, but I would have just said it's Jon Favreau. You know, but also, them putting this name out there shuts Molly Damon up. It shuts, Gail Simone up, and Renfamous, and, Claudia Gray, and Kristen Hidalgo up. Okay, so you gotta look at it. There's tactical stuff going on here. When I look at all this, I look at that magazine and I think that's got to be Disney. That's got to be Disney intelligence work going on, counterintelligence, and Favreau's part of it. Because they want it out there that Kennedy's gone. This sneaking around, lack of transparency is killing the franchise. Okay, so it's going to be fluid, guys, but I think brighter days are ahead for everybody. I really, really do. It's always darkest before the dawn, right? And, you know, being somebody who's literally been in that situation, when I was just a kid, you got to trust me on that. Okay, so hope y'all have a good evening. If Cameron comes back with more shocking revelations, I'll let you know. Anyway, this is Steph signing out. I'll see you around the galaxy.